How many we have now?
Shalom family, shalom family, shalom family. Brother Jerome, do you remember what was the last scripture that we went over before we cut off? So we could continue where we left off at. Shalom family, we were having major technical difficulties with the program we used to go on live. If possible, quote the scripture that we last left off on so we could continue from there. Shalom, shalom family. If possible, put the scripture that we last left off on. He said, I don't know. Let's continue back at Sirach 4. Let's actually continue Matthew 23. 23. Okay. Because this class, like I said before we cut off, this class is not about Jake in the world. This class is for Jake in the truth. Because oftentimes we know better, but we refuse to do better. But we want to quit to call somebody 2/3. We want to quickly to predetermine if somebody's not going to make it into the kingdom of heaven, even though that's not in the scriptures. Give me Matthew 23.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 23.
Read.
Woe unto you,
right?
Scribes and Pharisees.
The Most High says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees. What was wrong with the scribes and Pharisees? Because they were hypocrites. Yahushua told the people, follow what they tell you to do, because why? They're telling them the truth. Keep the commandments of the Most High. Just like us in the truth. We go out there and tell the people keep the commandments. We tell them keep the faith of Yahushua. We tell them the kingdom of heaven is for them. They're supposed to do what we're telling them to do because it's according to scriptures. But he said, don't do what they do. Because some of you are still want to be homemongers, but you want to call somebody 2/3. Some of you still want to be city girls, but want to tell a sister that she's going to be destroyed. Some of you brothers still 1 foot in, 1 foot out, hopscotch, double dutch, crisscross applesauce with the word of the Most High. But you want to quickly rebuke a brother and a sister who's still in the darkness. That you don't even know if the Most High is going to bring them into this word or not. Continue reading.
Hypocrites,
right? For
ye pay tithes of mess and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law.
Continue reading.
Judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done.
Because a lot of times in this world, our people don't have judgment, mercy, compassion. We don't have compassion. How we out there going out to tell the people compassion, teaching people compassion? We don't have compassion with one another. We don't have mercy with one another. Give me Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1. We don't even know how to execute true judgment. Even in this word, we don't know how to execute true judgment. But we want to proclaim we're going to go judge the world. But we're not even practicing these things right now. How does that work? Well, we want to call our people 2/3. They're going to be destroyed. Jake is wicked.
5:1.
Yeah, Leviticus 5:1.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 5, verse 1.
Read.
And if a soul sin and hear the voice and swearing.
Right. This is what the Most High said. Somebody's going off on you. This is one of the number issues that the Most High have with Israel. Even in this word. We always want to mix niggerism with Hebrewism. You want to mix street codes with the laws. Street codes and the laws of the Most High don't mix. Negroism, niggertry, don't mix with Hebrewism. It don't mix with being an Israelite. It's either you're going to choose one or drop the other. It don't mix. Read.
That's right. And it is a witness whether he has seen or known of it.
Now, the Most High says if there's an issue, right, and you're in the vicinity of this issue, you've seen what happened. You know what happened. You heard what happened. Read.
If he do not utter it.
If you refuse to say something about it, you refuse to execute the judgment of the Most High, because Israel have that issue too. In this word, we have this issue. When a brother brother's going off, he's doing something wicked. Oh, I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna be no snitch. Right? Snitches get stitches. You a Negro. You still a Negro. You're not Levi, you're not Benjamin, you're not Judah, you're still Negro. You're still being a Gentile in the flesh. Because the Most High said he loved judgment. We don't execute judgment no more. We like to have the perception we're executing judgment. We don't execute judgment. Read.
Then he shall bear his iniquity.
The Most High said he should what?
He shall bear his iniquity.
The Most High said, rightfully so, you're going to be responsible because of that. We're still dealing with whoremongers in the spirit, in this word. But we're going out there to tell the people, get your wife. Love your children, but we still having issues. How does that work? Because we're having this issue, we should have compassion on them. Because we're still struggling with the same thing. We're all trying to get that one penny, which is the kingdom of heaven. We're all trying to work for salvation. But we have time to beat one another. Israel always trying to have an advantage over one another. That's the issue that the Most High have with us. That's why he said our righteousness is like filthy rags. Go back to where you was at Matthew 23. Go back to Matthew chapter 23.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 23.
Read it a little louder.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithes of mint and anise, and coming and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat.
Read it again.
Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye may clean the outside of the cup.
Read it again.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites.
What did the Most High say?
Hypocrites.
He's saying again, Yahweh's like hypocrites, read.
For ye may clean the outside of the cup.
Because he said that you may clean the outside of the cup. Let's break that down. We come into the word of the Most High. We start wearing scarves. We start wearing the garments. We wear the fringes. Our sisters start, hopefully, some of them, they start wearing loose-fitted dresses with fringes. They cover up. And you give a perception that you're righteous. We often give off this perception of righteousness. We clean the outside of the cup. Read.
For ye clean outside of the cup and of the platter,
right?
But within they are full of the.
What did he say?
But within,
inside of your spirit, inside of your flesh, inside of your mind, read.
They are full of extortion.
They're full of what?
Extortion.
You're still full of the spirit of extortion.
And access.
Read.
Thou blind. Cleanse first that which is within the cup and the platter, that the outside of them may be clean also.
Because we say this 2/3 spirit, but we still messed up inside. Yahweh shall say, clean up yourself in the spirit, so the outside could match. Don't just be looking righteous outside in the flesh, but inside your spirit you still acting like Esau. You're still moving like the Hamites. You're still eating like you a Moabite. Read.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites.
What did he say?
Hypocrites. Read. For ye are like unto white sepulchres.
What did he say?
For ye like unto white sepulchres.
He say you're the hypocrites. The Israelites who proclaim people are off 2/3, they're going to be destroyed. You're like a white coffin with pearls and diamonds, all VVS diamonds, rubies, and you look beautiful. You look extravagant. Read.
Which indeed appear beautiful outward.
And you look beautiful outward. You look righteous. Now you should be the 3rd seat commanding under Hamashiach Yahweh in heaven. Read.
But within full of dead men's bones.
You're full of dead men's bones inside. Of unclean things, vile things. Because you didn't clean them. Our people have too much time. This is something Pharaoh said that should be a quote in Israel. Ye are too idle. Our people's way too idle. Because if we have all this free time, we should be in the kingdom of heaven with this free time.
That's right.
Every day, the Most High should be occupying your time with correcting yourself. We have way too much time as brothers and sisters in this word. That's why there's so much bickering that goes on in this word. That's why there's so much confusion that goes on in this word. Read.
Full of dead bones, full of dead man's bones, and of uncleanness. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto man.
Because when you do go to Publix and you're saying Shabbat Shalom to the cash register, the cashier at the register, and they're asking you where you're going on a Friday before the Friday night comes, I'm getting my Shabbat sandwich for Shabbat. But you still wicked as hell. You don't even come on time for Shabbat. You don't even come on time for Shabbat. You don't even know what Genesis 1:1 is at. You give an appearance of righteousness, but you're still not keeping the commandments of the Most High. You're still not applying the things that's required of us. Read.
But we think ye are full of hypocrites and iniquity.
You're still full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Because we're not practicing the things that we need to practice, which is the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. We're not even halfway through the class yet.
Yeah.
We already have so much work we need to do. Why are we beating Jake out? Jake with his pants below his behind. Why we have time to beat him down? We should be uplifting him so he can get to the level we at. So us together, we can go into the kingdom of heaven. We don't have time to beat one another down, devour one another. Go ahead and get me Revelations 2:2. This is why Yahweh said we forgot our first love. Some of us in this world, we have the zeal to want to do for the Most High. We have the zeal to stand up against wickedness and evil, but we forgot our first love. Once you get it, you go ahead and read that.
Because it's the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 2. I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience and how thou canst not bear them which are evil.
Because we do have a zeal for the Most High. We hate wickedness. Hopefully, some of the brothers and sisters who's on right now, you hate wickedness. We have this concept. We want to execute justice for the Most High. We have that fervent love for the Most High. There's some brothers and sisters in this world that is sincere. There is. That stand up against the wickedness that we see day in and day out. Read.
And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles.
And we go out and we go against those that claim they know the Most High. And we confound them through the scriptures. We give glory to the name of the Most High. Read.
And are not.
And are what?
And are not.
And we find out through the scriptures, these men are not men of the Most High. These women are not daughters of the Most High. Read.
And has found them liars.
And have found them what?
Have found them liars.
We found them that they're liars. Everything they're saying is not correlating with the scriptures. When we're going against the Christians, the seven disadvantaged church, Jehovah Wickedness, the Catholic Church, the Mormons, these Christian apologetics like No Swag, what's his name? No Swag Malone and Gay Man, G-Man. When we confound these fools and we show them that they don't know the Bible. Read.
And has borne and has patience.
And we have patience that what? The kingdom of heaven is going to be for us. Some of us have this zeal for the Most High, moving in a sincere spirit. Read.
And for my name's sake,
right,
has labored and has not fainted.
Read.
Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee.
The Most High said he still have somewhat against us. Because why? Read.
Because thou hast left thy first love.
We left our first love. We left the spirit of compassion, the spirit of love, sincerity for our people. Because sometimes we go into the light, we forget we got to go back in the darkness and take Jake out. Right. We forgot the Most High built us up in the spirit and the strength. Now we got to go in the darkness and we got to pull Jake out. Right. We got to pull Eve out. A lot of us forget that. A lot of us forget when we come in this word, that's the beginning of the works. We got to go back. We got to go save our nation. A lot of times we forget this. We lose this sense of love. Read.
Remember therefore whence thou art fallen.
What did Moses say?
Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen.
He said, remember therefore from whence thou art fallen. This is Yahushua speaking. He said, you need to remember how you was out there breaking the commandments. You need to remember how you was going from man to man to man, like an Olympic sport. You need to remember how you was eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster when you was defiling the Sabbath day of the Most High, when you hated your people, when you disrespected your parents. This is what he's saying. Our people, we get to the word, we write it down. We think we're going to go to the kingdom. We're going to go drink wine. We're just going to have servants, and the seed is saved. We got seed locked in the kingdom of heaven. The Most High revealed to certain people who got their seed locked in the kingdom of heaven. And we might reveal that too. There's certain people whose seats are established already. Our seats are not established yet. Read.
And repent.
Right.
And do the first works.
Right. He said you need to remember how you was out there before you need to repent and go back and do it. Read.
Or else,
right,
I will come unto thee quickly.
And Yahweh shall say, or else he's gonna come unto you quickly. Read.
And we will remove thy candlestick.
He's gonna do what?
We'll remove thy candlestick.
He's gonna snatch that spirit from you. You don't give it to somebody else because you're too idle. You're going around beating on the poor and oppressed. Our people have too much time. You hear brothers have too much talk about this, about Eve. Don't get me wrong. As men of the Most High, we're supposed to execute true judgment. Our women is not held accountable for what they do. That's true. Our women get their way in this captivity. That's true. This captivity uplifts the black woman and think they're better than the black man. That's true. but they're being beaten down as much as we. They're being oppressed as much as we. They're being mind controlled by this system as much as us, as men in the Most High. You brothers have too much time. You get on Eve too much, and then when they get too beaten down, now you talking about there's no more women. Now you gotta go sleep with the white woman because you destroyed your woman. When Eve have a child, that's a product of us being in captivity. When there's no in this single father household, what does that mean? There's gonna be women with children. There's gonna be women that need to be married off that already have children. But you brothers have too much time on your hands. Read.
And we remove thy candlestick out of his place, except I repent.
He said, unless you repent, unless you remember how you was in those conditions. Vice versa for our sisters as well, when they want to beat down the brothers. Oh, how come his credit score is not 800, but your credit score is 300? How come you can't find a righteous man, but you wicked as hell? You the definition of wicked, but you want a righteous man. We need to start getting our acts together. While we talking about marriage, we talking about the Most High. We talking about the commandments of the Most High. We're not even doing it right now, and we're in the Word. We're not uplifting the Most High, glorifying the Most High. When Yahushua was around, the 12 disciples, they gravitated to him because of the spirit he was moving in. When you're going out and about in the world, people are supposed to naturally gravitate to you. There's going to be haters. There's going to be people that come against you. You should have that spirit when people gravitate to you because they see the light. Our people don't know the light no more. We have too much hypocrisy in Israel. We have too much blasphemy of the Most High in Israel. We have more compassion in Israel. Nobody's seat is saved in the kingdom of heaven. Give me Matthew 8 and 11. Before we go continue on the scriptures, we want to show about 16 men in the scriptures who already got their seat established in the kingdom of heaven via the mouth of Yahushua. Give me Matthew 8 and 11. We're going to show 16 brothers who already got their seat in the kingdom of heaven. And I want to see if there's some brothers that we know in the word right now who could say, that's me. That's talking about me. Matthew 8 and 11.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 8, verse 11.
Read.
And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west.
This is the kingdom of heaven. Yahushua start referring to the kingdom of heaven. And not 16, it's 15. Read.
And shall sit down with Abraham.
Wait, read it again. Read that verse on the top again.
And I say unto you
read.
That many shall come from the east and west.
From the east and the west, all over the earth. Read.
And shall sit down with Abraham.
With who?
With Abraham.
With Abraham. Read.
And Isaac.
With Isaac. Read.
And Jacob.
And Jacob. Read.
In the kingdom of heaven.
In the where?
In the kingdom of heaven.
In the who?
In the kingdom of heaven.
I don't believe that says Daquan, Shaquan, or Raekwon. Right?
In the kingdom of heaven.
These three brothers already have their seat in the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
I want to know which brother in the word right now can say they're Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That they know for sure they're gonna be in the kingdom of heaven. Give me Matthew 19:27. Matthew 19:27. And this is not to beat down our people. This is for us to humble down. We need to humble down before the Most High, because there's gonna be people that say, "Lord, Lord, Lord," and Yahushua you gonna say He don't know you. Yeah, right. Because you thought you was moving in the spirit. But in honesty, you moving in the spirit of Satan. Matthew 19:27.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 27. They answered Peter and said unto him,
right?
Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee.
The we is the disciples, the 12 disciples. So we got 15 brothers. We know 3 of them is going to be in the kingdom of heaven: Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yeah. And we're going to talk about the other 12 that's going to be there for a fact that we know in the scriptures. Read.
What shall we have therefore? And Mashiach Yahushua say unto them, Verily I say unto you.
What did he say to say unto the 12 of them? Read.
That ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones.
What?
Ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones.
Right.
Judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
We're going to be sitting on the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel in the kingdom of heaven. I need to find out a brother in the word that can say that's them right now. We need to humble down. When we go out there and tell Jake that he's going to be destroyed, we don't. That's not us. That's the apostles who already got their seat. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they got their seat. We're the ones still trying to show the Most High why we deserve to be in the kingdom of heaven, why we deserve to go under the rod of the new covenant. We're the ones that's still trying to brighten the eyes of the Most High. There's so much work we need to do as a nation. Because in Israel, we're still having issues with fornication. We're still having issues with lies. We're still having issues with brothers beefing with other brothers, like this is Bloods and Crips. We're still having issues when sisters are going from man to man to man, brothers are going from woman to woman to woman, and that's not their wife or wives, plural. We still have this issue in Israel. There's too much work that we need to do so we can fix each other, to fix ourselves as a nation. Go back to you, Zach. You just finished Revelations, right?
Revelation 2 and 2.
No, give me Romans 2 and 1 now.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 1. Therefore, thou art inexcusable.
Take your time when you're reading it.
Therefore, thou art inexcusable, O man, whatsoever thou art that judges.
Because our people think we judge judges. We're the ultimate judge, which is the Most High. We decide who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. Read.
For wherein thou judgest another,
right,
and thou condemnest thyself.
Because what we're doing is we're condemning our people. We condemn them when we say they're 2/3. We say they're going to be cut off. Then they're going to be cut off from the love of the Most High. That's what we're saying. Read.
For that judge does the same things, but we are sure
read that again. That judges it.
For that judges does the same thing.
Because thou doest the same thing. Thou doest the same thing. I remember one time. All praises. I remember one time it was an incident, right? I seen a brother get in an argument with a brother, right? And I promise you, it seemed like it was like a blood and crip argument. It was like a blood and crip argument. Yeah. And afterwards, that same day, the brother went out to go teach the word of the Most High, saying, brother, you're supposed to love your brother like thou love thyself. Yeah. But not too long ago, you was just cursing out your brother. You look like you were ready to shoot your brother. Yeah. This is the hypocrisy the Most High is talking about. Right. That we need to fix. This is why I say, and this is evident in the scriptures, you brothers who know the truth, you sisters who know the truth, and you refuse to do it, you're worse than Jacob in the world. You're worse than Esau. Esau has an excuse. He was created to be crooked. He was created to be the just. Go ahead and read.
Verse 2. But we are sure that the judgment of the hour is according to the truth against them which committed such things.
Right. Jump on to verse 17 for me.
Verse 17. Behold, thou art called a Jew and reset in the law, and makest thy boast of Yahweh.
He said that thou art a Jew and resisteth in the law and makest thy boast of the Most High. So what is he saying right here? What is Paul saying right here? He's saying you're calling on the name of the Most High. I'm the God. I'm the children of the Most High. I serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Kum Yasha. The saints shall take the kingdom. And some brothers say it like they're Superman, masculine, like they're Hercules. Yeah. But you resist the laws of the Most High. You find out you got to grow your beard, you refuse to grow your beard. You find out you got to go out there, get some boots, cargo pants, go out there and teach the word of the Most High. There's issues right there. It's time for the Sabbath day, you want to stroll in like Michael Jackson on the red carpet. That's the issue that the Most High have with us. Jake has an excuse. He don't know any better. Most High didn't call him yet. We have no excuse. Read.
Verse 18. And knows his will, and approveth the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law.
Read that again from 18.
Verse 18. And knows his will.
Because we know his will. Paul's referring to the ones who know better. We know the will of the Most High. We know the will of the Most High is the laws of the Heavenly Father. Read.
And approveth the things that are more.
We got to educate our people of these things. Read.
And that thou thyself art a guide of the blind.
What?
A guide of the blind.
We don't to say that well. Be the guides of the blind. Now we're here to fix our people. Fix the sick. Heal the sick. Go to the fatherless. Read.
A light of them which are in darkness.
Right.
An instruction of the fool.
An instructor of the foolish. Read.
A teacher of babes, which has the form of knowledge and of the truth and the law.
Right.
Thou therefore which teachest another,
right,
teachest thou not thyself. That
read it again. Read it again.
Thou therefore which teachest another, teachest thou not thyself.
He said, don't you know when you go out there and teach another, you're teaching yourself? There's a reason why the scriptures say that the word of the Most High is like a two-edged sword. Because you could cut going this way and you could get cut going back. When you tell somebody, thou shalt not covet, you better make sure you're not coveting. You better make sure you're not moving in that spirit. When you're telling our sisters, stop being baby mamas, right? You better make sure you're not the one creating baby mamas in the nation. Our sisters, when we say that the brothers are wicked, they're not righteous, right, all they worry about multiple wives, you better make sure you're submissive, you're staying in a humility, in a spirit of humility. You better make sure you're keeping the commandments of the Most High. Make sure you're worried about the Most High. Read.
That preaches a man should not steal.
Right.
Doest thou steal?
He's asking, you teaching somebody to keep this commandment. Are you doing it? Read.
That says a man should not commit adultery. Does thou commit adultery?
Right.
That abhorrest idols. Dost thou commit sacrilege? That thou makest thy boast of the law.
Right.
Through breaking the law,
right,
dishonorest thy power.
He said that thou makest the boast of the law of the Most High, but you're dishonoring the Most High because you're not applying what's written in the scriptures. Israel, we got to get it together. We need to get ourselves together because as the time draw near, the Most High is not going to be dealing with the foolishness no more. In the wilderness, is there going to be Salakia? I thought Sabbath meant chill at home.
Yeah.
Is there going to be an excuse in the wilderness? This is why we need to train our minds right now and start keeping the commandments of the Most High. Be sincere. Move in a lowly spirit, a spirit of humility. Exactly. Rehearse the righteous acts. Because Jake, he don't know any better. You need to rehearse it, get it right, and go on and teach him. Read.
Among the Gentiles.
Because he said his name is being put under the dirt because of us. Because we're saying that we're in the word, but we want to fight each other. I remember the couple years back, I seen one Israelite group beat up with another Israelite group just to go fight. Wow. We're defiling the name of the Most High. That's one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High in vain. We're making the reputation of the Most High into vanity. There's no worth to the name of the Most High. In ancient times, the nations were feared. They feared us when they heard the name of the Most High. When they heard that the Ark of the Covenant was amongst us, they knew that the Most High was amongst us. They had fear. Now, when we talk about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, what do they tell us? Go get a job. These niggas, that's how they address us because why? We're being hypocrites. We boast of the laws of the Most High, but we don't apply them. We say we love our nation, but we bash Jake and tell him he's going to be destroyed. And you don't know, he could be the elect. He could be the 144. These are the things that we do. The Most High's not dealing with that. Go ahead. No, give me Isaiah 65 and 2. Give me Isaiah 65 and 2.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 2. I have spread out of my hands all thy day. So like, I have spread out of my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walk in a way that was not good after their own thoughts.
The Most High said he shared his compassion to a people that walk after their own thoughts and want to do their own thing. Israel, we have an issue. We're going to go to Yahushua dealt with our people. Because we need to move in the spirit I was moving into. But we're going to get there. Continue reading.
A people that provoked me to anger continually to my face.
We provoke the Most High to anger continually to his face. Read.
That sacrifice it in gardens and burneth incense upon altar of brick.
So they're dealing with witchcraft. They're dealing with idolatry. Read.
Which remain among the graves.
Now I want you to read verse 3 again. I'm gonna use modern terms this time. So I can make sure if the viewers is following along, they understand what the Most High is saying. Go back to verse 3.
Verse 3. A people that provoked me to anger continually to my face.
Right.
That sacrifice it in gardens.
They want to double dip and still keep Thanksgiving. They don't uplift the feast days of the Most High. They show up the Sabbath like a UFO drop them off in front of the service. Read.
And burn incense upon the altar of brick, which remain among the graves.
They still want to go out and go to strip clubs. They still want to go out in clubs and act like heathens. They still want to wear tight clothes. No one wear fringes. And everybody's easy tucking in their pants.
enlarged in the monuments, which eat swine flesh,
Which do what?
which eat swine flesh,
They're still liars.
eat swine,
All types of foolishness and wickedness, idolatry, fornications, philosophies. Read.
abominable things is in their vessels, which says,
What do they say?
stand by thyself.
Hey, stand by thyself. Yo, I'm doing me. I'm vibing. So we're using modern day terms. I'm vibing. You do you, I'm doing me. Let me worry about me. Let Most High's gonna judge me. These are the things that we say. Read.
Come not near to me.
So why are you always trying to get my business? That Ak is nosy. Don't you see I'm keeping the commandments of the Most High even though I'm going off? Read.
For I am holier than thou.
What do they say?
For I am holier than
What do
thou.
our people say?
For I am holier than thou.
What do we say to the people in the world?
For I am holier than
Don't
thou.
we say that? We say that. I'm more holier than thou. Who art thou to judge us me, brethren? Where are the people that say these things? Read.
These are a smoke in my nose.
What did the Most High say?
These are a smoke in my
He
nose.
said this is a smoke to his nose. If anybody grill, when you smoke them on your nose, what is that? What is that? How does that react to your body? It's irritating. The Most High say that's an irritating thing to see. It's a thing that brings full of wrath when you see this thing. Read.
If fire that burneth all day.
What did he say?
If fire that burneth all day.
He says like a fire that burneth all day. This is how the Most High feel when he sees us moving in his spirit. But we're too idle. This is why Pharaoh had to tell Moses. That's why Pharaoh told Moses this. We're too idle. Us as the nation of Israel, us in the truth, we are too idle. We got too much time in our hands. Oftentimes we weren't about the customs that our forefathers used to keep. Some of us, we don't even know how to cook. Don't know how to sew a jacket and fix a jacket. But we weren't about other things. We weren't about when Yahushua coming back. But we still not keeping the commandments of the Most High. We weren't about when Esau going to captivity, but we still not applying the Most High's commandments. What gain are you going to get knowing these things and you're going to be destroyed? Give me Isaiah 66 and 3. Give me Isaiah 66 and 3.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 3. He that killeth an ox is is as if he slew a man.
The Most High say, he that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. An ox is a clean animal. An ox is what you use to give oblation to the Most High, sacrifice to the Most High. Why is he comparing a good thing to something bad? It's as if you murdered somebody. Read.
He that sacrifices a lamb.
A lamb is a clean animal. I believe you would use a lamb for one of the daily sacrifices and one of the sacrifices for the Sabbath. When you read Numbers 28, read.
As if he cut off a dog's neck.
It's like you sacrifice an unclean dog. You can't sacrifice dogs according to the law. Read.
He that offereth an oblation,
right?
As if he offered swine blood.
Read. He
that burneth incense, as if he blessed an idol. Yea, that have chosen their own ways.
Why is he saying this? He said, because you've chosen your own ways. Our people choose their own ways. When we mistreat each other in these fashions, we're choosing our own way. We're not doing the things that's written in the Bible anymore. When we beat down each other for no reason, we're not doing the things according to the scriptures. We're supposed to love each other like how Yahushua loved us. That's what the scriptures say. Read.
And their soul delighteth in their abominations.
And some of our people, their soul delighteth in their own abomination. They get comfortable in it. Scripture says we're supposed to follow after the footsteps of Mashiach Yahushua. That's what we're supposed to mimic. Give me 1 Peter 2 and 21. 1 Peter 2 and 21. That's whose footsteps we're supposed to mimic as a nation. Now, who we want to follow? We want to follow Satan. When you hate your brother, you gossip against your brother, you following Satan. Satan is your God. Once you get it, you go ahead and read that.
Because it's the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because of Mashiach Yahushua.
Because who?
Because of Mashiach Yahushua.
Right.
Also suffered for us, leaving us an example.
Leaving us in what?
Leaving us an example.
Leaving us a who?
Leaving us an example.
He left us a what?
An example.
Yahushua left us an example. Yahushua was an example to the nation of Israel. If you want to be pleasant in the eyes of the Most High, you want to be perfect in the eyes of the Most High, this is who you follow. You want to know how to get into the kingdom of heaven? You mimic Yahushua. Follow Yahushua. Stop trying to follow Cardi B. Stop trying to follow Megan Thee Stallion. Mimic Yahushua, what he was doing. Because we know he's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. He's going to be sitting on the throne of David. Mimic what he was doing. Philippians 2:5. Since we're striving to mimic what Yahushua is doing, we need to follow the mindset that he had. We need to mimic the spirit he came in.
This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Let this mind
read.
Be in you.
Let this mind be in you, read.
Which was also in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Which was what?
Which was also in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Which was in Hamashiach Yahushua. We need to move in the mindset Yahushua was moving in. The spirit he came in. Give me Isaiah 11:3 before we go into a little bit in the gospel. Give me Isaiah 11:3. Because we have too much time in our hands. Too much time. We offended and we don't even say no salakia about it. Read.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 3.
Read.
And shall make him a quick understanding.
We're supposed to have the mind of Yahushua. We're supposed to have a quick understanding. Read.
And the fear of the Most High.
We're supposed to move in the fear of the Most High. Read.
And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes.
We're not supposed to judge after the sight of our eyes. We hear a rumor about somebody in Israel, we run with it. We run 80 miles with it. We trying to roll a boat up a mountain with it. This is what Israel do. We're not supposed to judge after the sight of after sight. Read.
Neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
We're not supposed to base our judgment off rumors in Israel. A lot of times, Israel run with rumors because that's what you want to see. You run with rumors because that's what you want to see. A lot of times in Israel, somebody could be a righteous brother or sister. Because you don't like that brother or you don't like that sister, you hear a rumor and that you portray that person to be this. Defamation of character. This is what's going on in Israel. Read.
Verse 4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor.
We're supposed to judge the poor in righteousness. We're supposed to uplift our people that's in low in estate. That's how we're supposed to bring Jake in. We're supposed to keep the commandments of the Most High. And then we go out there and save them. Because if we're not applying it, what good is he going to do? He come in here, he's going to be a hypocrite just like you. Read.
And reprove with equity for the meek of the earth.
For the meek of the earth, because the children of Israel is the meek. The ones who sincerely serve the Most High. Give me Matthew 9:35. I wanted to address that 2/3, calling brothers 2/3. I want to see if Yahushua did that in the gospel. Once you get it, you go ahead and read that.
Now, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 9, verse 35.
Right.
And the Mashiach went about all the cities and village, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom.
So just like how we do day in and day out, we go amongst the hoods. We go amongst the trap. We go amongst the cut. We go to the highways and byways to the where people was at, to see that they're in the worst conditions that could ever be seen under the face of the sun. But we go teach the gospel to them, the restoration of the children of Israel, the upliftment of the children of Israel, the salvation of Israel. The nations are going to be subdued under their hands one day. This is the gospel we go out to preach them. This is the spirit Yahushua is about to tell us we need to mimic. This is what we need to follow. Read.
And healing every sickness and every disease among the people.
So Yahushua wasn't going out there destroying the people. He was healing the people. He was healing the sick, healing the deaf, healing the blind, giving them understanding of the Most High in the kingdom of heaven, teaching them of him, of himself. He wasn't going out there destroying the people. Because there is a time and place for rebuke. Don't get me wrong. We're not preaching Christianity. After you rebuke the brother, you cut the brother, then you build him back up. You need to cut the dead tree and plant the good tree. Go on. What does that say?
Causes strife within the causes strife essentially. It goes into the proper move.
Yeah, once you get it, let me know. Continue reading.
Verse 36. But when he saw the multitude,
how should I see the multitude? These are Israelites who's falling short. who don't know the most, who don't know Yahushua. One of the issues our people had in the New Testament, we didn't have compassion. We didn't have mercy. We didn't know how to just forgive. We had this issue even during this time. Just like in today's time. And the thing is, our people knew who they were too. During Yahushua's time, they knew who they were. They weren't calling themselves Black American and Haitian. Read.
He was moved with compassion on them.
Well,
With compassion
Then
on
he
them.
called them baby mamas and they're going to be destroyed and that's it.
He was moved with compassion on them.
Yahushua was moved to compassion. When we see our people in these conditions, we're supposed to be moved by compassion for them.
That's right.
Because at one point, we was living just like them. We was ignorant. We was in the same spirit. Let me tie this 3 and 3. Before we go back, let me tie this 3 and 3. We're supposed to move in that same passion. This brothers used to be drug dealers. This brothers probably used to be drug addicts, and sisters used to be drug addicts. When you see your brother and your sister that's in that condition, you're supposed to feel bad. You're supposed to see yourself. Because you got to remember, you used to be like that. I used to be in that spirit. That's how you got to see things. But the issue is when we see our people in the world, we think we're more righteous than them.
Yeah.
We forget we used to be there. And the Most High kind of left you right there. Read.
It's the book of Titus, chapter 3, verse 3. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish.
We was what?
We're also sometimes foolish.
We ourselves were sometimes foolish. We were not more righteous than thou. It was all wicked at one point. Read.
Disobedient.
We was what?
Disobedient.
We was disobedient. Read.
Deceived.
Deceived. We were lied from who we were as a nation of people. Read.
Serving diverse lusts.
We're serving diverse lusts. Lust is not just you like something or a desire. It's a desire forbidable by the law. Something that's against the Most High that you strongly desire. We was moving in the spirit. Read.
And pleasures.
And what?
And pleasures.
And pleasures. Read.
Living in malice and envy, hateful.
We was hateful towards one another in the world. So we can't move in that spirit when we're in this word. Yahushua had compassion on the people. Go back to you was at. We drop that. 9:36.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 9, verse 36.
Mm-hmm.
But when he saw the multitude,
Mm-hmm.
he was moved with compassion on them,
Right.
because they fainted.
Because they were what?
Because they were fainted.
Because they were also
Because they fainted
they're in a poor condition. They're oppressed. Read.
and were scattered
They're
abroad.
what?
Were scattered abroad.
Because our people scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, still suffering, still being oppressed. Read.
As sheep having no shepherd.
As a sheep having no shepherd. That's the conditions of our people. Yahushua understood this, and he was moving in compassion. He didn't come out here to destroy the people. He came to heal the people. Give me Luke 9:51. Give me Luke 9:51.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 51.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when the time was come that he should be received up, he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem,
Right.
and sent messengers before his face, and they went and entered into the village of the Samaritans to make ready for him.
So he had them go to the Samaritans, the Israelites that's over there, that's dwelling over there in that area, to be ready when he comes and approach them, to deal with them. Is the YouTube just fine out? Good, okay, continue reading.
And they did not receive them.
So these Israelites didn't want to receive Yahushua. Just like sometimes they don't want to receive us when we go out there and teach them. Read.
Because his face was as though he would go to Jerusalem.
Because Yahushua, to them in their eyes, it looked like Yahushua was more concerned about going to Jerusalem instead of focusing on them. Read.
And when his disciple James and John saw this,
Right.
they say,
What did they say unto him?
I the one will that will command fire to come down from heaven.
What did he say? These people disrespecting Amashek Yahushua. I think they're Levites, to be honest. They already rolling with Yahushua. They already kill somebody. But I speak as a man, not by commandment. So when Yahushua, they said, so they would have asked Hamashiach Yahushua to do this unless they could have done it. Read.
and consumed them,
and destroy them. Read.
even as the lights did.
Mm-hmm.
But he turned and rebuked them.
What did he do?
He rebuked them.
He tell them, call them 2/3.
He rebuked them.
How should I let them burn them up?
He rebuked them
How should I check them? Read.
and said,
What did he say unto them?
ye know not what matter of spirit you are of.
Just like a lot of you brothers, you don't know what type of spirit you're dealing with. When you say that you want spiritual power to go destroy the wicked and you're going to destroy wicked Jake, you're going to kill Big Mama, there's some camps who say this foolishness. You don't know what type of spirit you're playing with, because you need to make sure you're correct. Or the most likely going to have the angels come choke slam you into the fire.
That's right.
Read.
For the Son of Man is not come to destroy men's lives.
He did not come to do what?
To destroy men's life.
We're not out here to destroy lives. We're not out here to bash our women who's already destroyed by the so-called white man. We're going to hold them accountable. We're not going to uplift them to more than what they are, according to the scriptures. But we're not supposed to bash them. We're not supposed to bash our brothers. We're not supposed to go out there and destroy Jake. He's already finished. Jake is finished. Even the work is finished. Why are you adding on to the sorrows? Read.
But to save them.
But to do what?
But to save them.
Our job is to go save them. Sometimes our people, they don't see it. They don't see it. But we need to go out there and save them. We need to save them from themselves. Read.
And they went to another village.
And that's it. Give me Esther 8 and 6. Give me Esther 8 and 6. Because you see so much examples of famous men and women showing compassion on their people because of the estate. But we just so cold-hearted. We're just ready to be killers. But when it's time for Esau to be going to slavery, we want to go jump and take a bullet for Esau. Brothers want to go save Esau. I remember I seen not too long on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it. I see a picture on Instagram. Camp married off a brother to an Edomite.
What?
I can't marry the brother off to an Edomite.
Wow.
We want to have so much mercy and marry ourselves to Esau, but when it comes to the nation, there's no compassion. There's no mercy. There's no love. That's how you know we are sick and rebellious people. That's how you know we're the children of the book. Read.
It's the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 6.
Read.
For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people?
What did she say?
For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people?
She said, how can I stand and watch what's going on with my people? Read.
Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred?
She said, how can I stand around and watch the destruction of the people? She didn't say, I'm the queen now of Persia. Forget y'all Negroes. You know she's on Benjamin too.
Yeah.
She wants to say, "Lo me." That's about. She's Benjamin.
Yeah.
But she had compassion on her people. Give me Lamentations.
Yeah.
Lamentations 3 and let's start from verse 46. You see something Jeremiah said. And the reason why I'm stressing Eve too, because sometimes Eve do go off, but we gotta protect them. At the end of the day, the so-called black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American woman is our woman.
That's right.
That's the princesses of Zion.
That's right.
If we don't defend them and protect them, who will?
Who will?
Because they finished. The most I took away their hair, the most I took away so much from them. Esau is boost them up and made them turn against us. Yeah. But we're the ones that got to stand firm for the Most High, and we got to show them compassion. Our women make mistakes just like brothers make mistakes. There's brothers who became baby daddies, who create the baby mamas and leave the children, who don't treat their women correct. The same way we have compassion for them, we got to show compassion to our women, because they're in darkness just like as much as the men. Continue, read.
It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 46. All our enemies have opened their mouths against us.
Right.
Fear and snare is coming upon us.
Right.
Desolation and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes run down with rivers.
Hold on. Take this on what Jeremiah said. Read it again, verse 48.
Verse 48.
Read.
Mine eyes runneth down with rivers of water.
Jeremiah said his eyes run down with rivers of water. Jeremiah was known as the weeping prophet because of what he's seeing going on with his people. Read.
For the destruction of
for the what?
For the destruction of the daughter of my people.
For the destruction of the daughter of his people. When you look at Eve and they bugged out of their mind, you should feel sorry for them, because they don't understand that at the end of the road, they will be destroyed. They didn't know any better. You should feel bad for them. Read.
My eyes trickle down and sees it not without any intermissions.
He said that his eyes, he can't stop crying because of the way he sees people. At one point, the daughters of Zion wouldn't even step on the floor without having sandals on, without shoes on. Now they fighting grown men like gorillas now. That's the estate our women have become. And we have nothing to do but show them compassion, show them mercy. But we are gonna hold them accountable for when they do something wicked. We are gonna hold them accountable when they break the commandments of the Most High. But we need to show them love and compassion. Because at the end of the day, we can't go off and marry. We can't go off and marry Ishmael women. We can't go off and marry Esau women. We can't go off and marry Moab and Ammon women. So who we have to marry? So-called Black, Hispanic, Native American women. We need to show them patience and compassion. Is that it? Continue reading.
Verse 50. So the Most High looked down and behold from heaven.
That's it. Give me 2 Ezra 2 and 42.
2 and 42.
Done. We're almost done with the class to open up the line. 2 Ezra 2 and 42. If anybody got offended for this class, hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. Right. But we're telling you this out of meekness, out of humility, out of love. We really need to examine ourselves as a nation. The Most High didn't choose who's going to be. The Most High did not proclaim and show the world who's being saved yet. We're still fighting for our seat in the kingdom of heaven. The one who's going to be given a crown is Hamashiach. No deacon, no general, no third commander under heaven. None of these men is going to be given out the crown.
42.
Read.
I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion.
What did Ezra see? This is Ezra through the Spirit. Ezra, the mighty priest from the tribe of Levi. Read.
A great people.
What did he say?
A great people.
He said a great people. This great people is Israel. This great people is the Israelites. The ones that was made and sanctified and saved. Read.
Whom I cannot number.
Read.
It's like whom I could not number.
Read.
And they all praise the Most High with songs.
Read.
And in the midst of them,
right,
there was a young man.
In the midst of them was a young man. Read.
Of a high stature.
Right.
Taller than all the rest.
He was taller than all the other Israelites. Read.
Upon every one of their heads.
Upon every one of their heads. Read.
He said crowns.
He said what?
He said crowns.
He said who?
He said crowns.
No, did it say the pastor was going to do that?
He said crowns.
Did it say an elder in the truth was going to do that?
He said crowns.
Did it say a bishop, deacon, or general was going to do that?
He said crowns.
He said crowns. He's the one that's going to give out the gold, the platinum crowns, the tin crowns, the wooden crowns. He's the one that's going to be giving it out. Right. He's going to tell brothers, you're the one that's going to take over the children of Javin. You're going to rule over them.
That's right.
He's going to tell brothers, you're the one that's going to be in charge over the Canaanites and make sure to keep the commandments.
That's right.
He's the one that's going to give out the authority. Read.
And was more exalted, which I marvel at greatly.
Right, read.
So I asked the angel.
What did you say to the angel?
And said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me.
He's asking, what is going on? Who is this? Who is this man? Who is this? What is this going on in front of me in this vision? Read.
These be they have put off the mortal clothing.
He said, these are the ones who put off the mortal clothing. They stop being so rebellious against the Most High. They stop being hypocrites. They stop having a stony heart towards one another. They stop being liars, thieves, and mixing niggardry with Hebrewism. He said, these are the ones that put off the mortal clothing. Read.
And put on the immortal.
And did what?
Put on the immortal.
They put on the immortal clothing. They put on the things that pertaineth unto the Most High. Read.
And have confessed the name of the Most High.
What did they do?
They have confessed the name of the Most
High.
High.
They confessed the name of the Most High, the reputation of the Most High. Everything that's written about the Most High, they went out and preached it. Read.
Now are they crowned.
Now they what?
They are crowned.
Now they who?
They are crowned.
Now, for us that want to stay in America and get 401k, this happened in Zion. This is going to happen in Israel. America is going to be destroyed. Like the chief priest always say, Zion is where our headquarters is at. Zion is where the saints are going to be called. Zion is where this crown is going to be given at. Read.
And receive palms.
Read.
Then say I unto the angel.
That's it. Give me 2 Ezra 8:51. Because we're all striving for this thing right here. To get here, we need to learn what's being applied, what's being taught today in class. We need to show each other love and compassion, long suffering. Because at the end of the day, when America is destroyed and you can't even find a can of chickpeas in the store, the one person you know who's not going to rob your house is your brother wearing the fringes and ribbon of blue. That's a fact. Read.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 51.
Read.
But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee.
Right.
For unto you is paradise.
What did the Most High say?
For unto you is paradise open.
He said, unto you paradise is open. The paradise is the kingdom of heaven. I always say to these two brothers, I don't have time to be for people, especially not somebody from the same sex.
Right.
Why are you going to let another man or woman cause you to miss out in the kingdom of heaven? Why are you going to let simple beefs and simple angers and grudges cause you to lose the kingdom of heaven? That's silly. That's how silly, right? You lost the eternity of paradise because of little small beasts and foolishness. Read.
The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared.
Read.
Plenteous is made ready.
Read.
A city is built, and rest is allowed.
And rest is allowed because this is a land of rest for our people. He's not referring to the kingdom of heaven that's going to be waiting for us. Read.
Yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you.
No more are we going to continue breaking the commandments of the Most High. No more are we going to have to hear about how brother Rakah killed brother Gabar in the corners of Jerusalem. This type of wickedness that we see in this country is only foreign to us in the kingdom of heaven. We're not going to see this anymore. We're not going to hear it no more. To hear something like that might give you a heart attack in the kingdom of heaven. That's how foreign it's going to be to us. Read.
Weakness in the mouth is hid from you,
right?
And corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
Read.
Sorrows are past.
Sorrows are what?
Sorrows are past.
Sorrows are going to be past. Read.
And in the end is shew the treasure of immortality.
Because we're all trying to strive for immortality. You all want to live up to 1,000 years old. We all want to see those years. We all want to see that what it feels like to wake up just to go to the beach and drink mimosas with the aqua or the acium. These are the things that we want to experience. But before we get to the heavenly things, we need to master the earthly things. Before we know how to rule nations with the rod of iron and through the spirit of the Most High, we need to learn how to be compassionate on one another, forbearing one another. Stop calling Jake 2/3, because you might be the one that's 2/3 and he might take your spot. These are the things that we need to learn as a nation of people. Give me 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Give me 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Scripture say, examine yourself, rather you be in the spirit. Today's class is for you for self-examination. We need to examine ourselves in this word. Are we really about the word? Or are we just here just to take space in the house of the Most High? Because the Most High is not like Levi. You don't just fill up his house and just leave stuff in his house. The Most High throws stuff away. And he will throw you away if you don't repent. Read.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5.
Read.
Examine yourselves.
What did the Most High say?
Examine yourselves.
What did he say?
Examine yourselves.
The Most High say, examine yourselves. Read.
Whether you be in the faith.
Whether you be in the faith. Because when we mix niggerism with Hebrewism, you're not in the faith. You're having a false delusion. When you're in the truth, there's no such thing as feminism with the truth. Feminism is of the devil. Feminism is not of the Most High. Feminism is not for Yahushua. I believe that's the proper term, right? When they want to advocate evil or wickedness, right? If I'm correct, right? Feminism is not of the Most High.
Yeah, right.
You sisters who move in this feminist spirit, and you think the black woman is going to take over the kingdom of heaven, yay, wait for the thermonuclear fire to come, and all respect, do a backflip in that fire, please.
Right.
Because the kingdom of heaven, Yahushua and the men of the Most High is in the reign.
That's right.
Continue reading. Finish that verse.
Examine yourselves,
read.
Whether you be in the faith.
Rather you be in the faith, read.
Prove your own selves.
You say check yourself, prove yourself, correct yourself, read.
Know ye not your own self.
Because you know yourself. You know if you're moving in the spirit or if you're moving in Satan, in the spirit of Satan.
How that Mashiach Yahushua is in you.
If Yahushua is in you or if Satan is in you. Paul, scroll up. I want to see who's on the chat. We about to open up the line soon. Shalom to brother Yeromia Yasha Ali. Shalom to Yahshua and Yehuda. Shalom to Trooper Banakud. I'm sorry? What, Kayo, that's you? Okay, I thought I was Banakud the whole time. Shalom to King Bromer. Should be millions watching. Shabbat Shalom. Shalom. Shabbat. All praise to the Most High. You're right, brother. There should be millions, but our people want to watch Gucci Man and young Sleazy freestyle debate. That's what our people want to watch. Slide down. Shalom to Barzal Montezawad. Shalom to Maria Magdala Nawan. Shalom. Shalom to Akbaro Yeshua. Shalom to Kimote Aisienyo. Pataj. Shalom. Shalom.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's Korea. Shalom, Phil. Bonjour, no Yahweh Shai Binu. So we're about to go on a brief 7 to 8 minute. Well, we're gonna go on a brief 10-minute commercial break, and then we're gonna open up the lines. If any questions, concerns, debates, you could call in. If you trying to break down the scripture to pastor was acting scared, and you didn't have the scriptures, hey, put us on 3-way with pastor, and we can let the Most High word be true and every man alive. So we're gonna go on a brief 10-minute commercial break. We're gonna see you guys back at 10:25. Family, we're gonna shut it off for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna restart the live stream. So brothers, if they want to call in for scriptures, they want to call in for I guess quote unquote smoke, but LSD keep the smoke. You could call in. So we're gonna start right back up at 10:25. Shalom.